My story is a little bit different. I only talk about what I personally experienced or seen myself. Everything else you have heard and know about and so on. The place is Budapest, Hungary, the year 1944. The location, the back of the Swedish embassy. It was almost 80 years ago when a man who didn't know us took my hand into his, took my mother's arm that was holding my one-year-old daughter, walked us through the garden, up a number of steps into an office, and a few minutes later handed my mother some papers. After we were escorted out of the building, I asked my mother, "What did he give you?" "Our lives," she said, "our lives." As a 10-year-old, I didn't realize that the hundreds of people lined up around the building outside the embassy were also waiting to be given their lives, and a lot of them were. Mother said, "Look," a few days later, seeing a picture in the newspaper, my mother said, "Look, this is the man who gave us our ship passes." The name under the picture was Raoul Wallenberg. My mother was right. These papers, along with the Swedish flag protecting the building we were able to move into, did save our lives and many, many more people's who also had ship passes. We stayed in that building until early February 1945, when the Soviet army occupied Budapest and we were liberated. The short story I just told you is not very important in the overall deeds of Raoul Wallenberg, but it was and still is to me and to my family. My older brother and I, Miklos, arrived in Hamilton in January of 1949, and shortly after joined by our sister Magda, and a year later by our parents and my kid brother George. Other than a few occurring nightmares, I started to live a normal life, thinking that I left the Holocaust behind me. Well, some things are easier to think than to do. Many years later, my family and I were having dinner, and like a good father should, I asked my son what he learned in school that day. His answer absolutely shocked me. We were studying about the Second World War, when during a discussion, the teacher said what the Americans did by dropping the A-bomb in Japan was much worse than what the Germans did to the Jews in Europe, called the Holocaust. I was shocked. This is Dundas, Ontario. The next day, instead of going to work, I went to the school to see the principal. I asked him if what was said was part of the curriculum or just the teacher's opinion. I was assured it was just the teacher's personal view, and he would be spoken to. After that incident, I realized the need to educate the public, especially the children, regarding the Holocaust, and we did. The Hamilton Jewish Federation and its Holocaust Education Committee has done an excellent job, and hopefully will continue to do so. Today we are here in Hamilton to celebrate the Raoul Wallenberg Monument. It took over 10 years of waiting since a visit to the City Council, but it was worth waiting for. To see Hamilton join the many cities of the world in honoring Raoul Wallenberg is uplifting and satisfying. Imagine the monuments of the two great heroes of World War II in one location in Hamilton, Winston Churchill, Churchill Park, and Raoul Wallenberg. Last week I came to see firsthand the monument Be. Longings. When I saw the first few suitcases, I had to stop to wipe the tears from my eyes. It brought back memories that I think never shared with anyone before. It happened in Budapest. The way we were moving into the Swedish protected apartment building, and moving then was a little different than moving now. No movers, no cars or trailers, just suitcases and shoes to walk in. We arrived at our destination with 2 suitcases and 2 backpacks. After unloading the luggage, my father looked at his watch and said, "We will have enough time before curfew to go back and get a few more things from home." And we did. My father packed another suitcase and I took a pillow, and we were about halfway to our destination when we were approaching 4 German officers at the side of the sidewalk. And they were smoking and talking. When we got beside them, one of them reached out and grabbed me by the neck and pulled me into the middle of them. When my father saw that I was not going to be let go, he started to talk to them in Hungarian. The German answered by pulling out his revolver and pointing it at my father. I shouted, "Go, go, before he kills you. I will catch up." He moved away, and I saw him stop a little way down the street watching me. When he saw him leave, they continued their discussion, keeping me in the middle of them. After a while, I dropped my pillow on the ground and sat on it. The officer that was holding me relaxed his hold, seeing that I was getting comfortable. When I saw a big group of people approach, I waited till they got beside us. Then I crawled between the legs of one of the officers and started to run like hell. Luckily for me, the officer who started after me gave up, and I eventually arrived at my destination. But I found my parents waiting for me at the gate, and hearing my father telling my mother, "See, I told you not to worry." Yes, the suitcases were very much part of the Holocaust. At this time, I would like to thank the City of Hamilton, the artist who designed this monument, and last but not least, the Hamilton Jewish Federation. I am proud to be a Hamiltonian. Thank you.